Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Daniel Federico Show. I'm Daniel Federico. That is Nikki Taz. Today we're going to be chatting about the National Football League and its training camp. The regular season is almost here. We're going into the first official week of preseason, and we just coming off of a terrific football game. The Hall of Fame game. Did not expect it to be as good and entertaining than it actually was. It was probably one of the most entertaining preseason football games I've ever watched. Haynes King and Carson Beck going off in this Hall of Fame game. Carson Beck, what a surprise that he was in that game. Honestly, I don't know why I'm so surprised. He kind of performs in these type of games. Like if there was a game for Carson Beck to go off on, it's for sure a preseason football game because you're not going to see it in the regular season. I know how rough that sounds, but we're not going to see him probably in the regular season this year. That's why I said it. But Carson Wentz looked terrific. He looked like he's kind of putting some weight on Jacoby Brissett in this quarterback room. After I know it was one preseason game and it was halfway through his training camp. I know how crazy I'm talking right now, but how good he looked. He was dotting up those throws. I know he was playing against second stringers, third stringers, but it's kind of hard not to spotlight Carson Beck's game that in the Hall of Fame game, especially Haynes King. He looked good. He's looking like he could probably be the QB2 or three for Carolina behind Bryce Young. But Carson Beck has to be. He's a rookie. Just got drafted. Had a pretty solid year at Miami this year, losing the national championship, and then before that with Georgia. But then he gets drafted by the Cards. Could we potentially see him be the starting quarterback for Arizona if Jacoby Brissett plays terrible? Like, are they gonna be like, hey, yo, here's the keys, here's the range? I know it's only one game, we're talking crazy, but it's hard to not have that conversation after how he just played, and it's an opportunity. Every kid like this, every player in his shoes would have wished for a great opportunity like he just got, and he took full take care of that opportunity. But what's your thoughts on that? If Jacoby Brissett goes down with either injury or plays just terrible, is Carson Beck next up?
Yeah, I think he can be. I think that his performance in the Hall of Fame game kind of signaled to the staff that yeah, this guy might be a bit more ready for the pros than we thought. I gotta ask you this because I don't know myself. Who is the Cardinals head coach right now?
It's LaFleur, brother of the Green Bay Packers head coach.
Okay, this is Mike LaFleur, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike LaFleur and I believe he has no head coaching experience.
No,
So
this is his first job.
so again, new regime, kind of ball is in the air kind of vibe with the Arizona Cardinals, like it has seemed to be always throughout the last few seasons, where we don't know what exactly to expect from them and their players as well. I'm talking about Harrison Jr. with that because he has been dropping everything at practice, and this is a guy that came in marketed as the next great wideout. Um, but that's besides the point. I digress. I believe that Carson Beck showed enough to give the coaching staff some confidence that he can perform like amicably well in these games as a rookie. And when you look at him, like he was hurt, he had some gnarly injuries in college, but he played in a lot of big games. And like this guy played for two really big, I guess you can call Miami a blue blood, but Georgia is for
Yeah.
sure. I played for two massive blue blood programs. Played in two national championship games, won one, lost the other one. And he's got a pretty natural throwing motion, and the ball comes out of his hand pretty well. Obviously, there's refining that needs to be done, but yeah, if we're basing it upon the Hall of Fame game, like I totally think there's a reason that the Cardinals can find to put him in as the starter one day. Now, I know this is heavily dependent on Jacoby Brissett's performance and then also his health as well, but as of watching that game and basing this claim off of what I saw, he's not a bad guy to hand the reins to in case of an emergency situation with the starter. So, and Arizona is in a unique position because they play in arguably the best division in football, but they're so clearly the last team, the worst team in that division, where they're not going to challenge for it. That's not even like a reasonable thing. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
not even like a
playoffs.
thought right now. It's not even a thought that they're going to be competing for the
Yeah,
division title.
yeah, and I think when you take that into consideration, it gives you a bit more, you're a bit more open to playing new players when you're not competing for anything really meaningful because you're not built to do that. And you're not going to have these rookies make meaningful mistakes. And they can make mistakes on the field without having the consequences be too dire for your season and then learn from them so that when year two, year three comes around, they're that much more prepared. Yeah, I see him playing this year for sure. I do see him playing. I do see him getting in at quarterback. Put it this way, I see him playing more than I see Mendoza playing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that because I think Kirk Cousins is going to play this entire season over
Yeah,
there.
as he
And
should, as he
yeah,
should.
as he should, and it'd be perfect. Like honestly, like if I'm in Mendoza's shoes, I want that. I kind of want that
Yeah, I do
for
too.
Kirk Cousins to play, and you get to learn under Kirko. That's great. But going back to the Arizona Cardinals, I know they have Garner Minshew there too, as the quarterback too. But how Carson Beck just played in that Hall of Fame game kind of has to put some pressure on Jacoby Brissett to do his job, and also Garner Minshew when he's given the chance. We're probably going to see Minshew play this week against the Raiders in preseason, but has to give him some pressure. Has to, he's for sure applied a lot of pressure on those two quarterbacks right now to perform. Because if Carson Beck continues to perform in all these opportunities that he's given, there should be no reason why on that depth chart he's not the quarterback two, and or even well, he's for sure solidified the quarterback three. That's a lock. He's gonna be making this 53 man roster unless something drastic happens, and I'll be so incredibly shocked if he's not on the 53. Um, but yeah, no, he's for sure already solidified as the quarterback three. But now let's see if he can still booster up his potential on getting the quarterback two job. That's the battle now for him is try to become the second string quarterback in Arizona. And I think every opportunity he gets, every drive he gets, every quarter he gets here for the rest of the preseason games it's going to be on full display on what his abilities are because he went 15 for 19 last year. And it's not like he was throwing checkdowns. He was throwing into these tight windows. He was throwing these deep balls on a rope. He was doing a terrific job, honestly, commanding the offense too. I know it's preseason and we'd be talking totally different, I bet, when it comes September to these quarterbacks. But seeing a rookie quarterback like this, people kind of had low expectations for Carson Beck everywhere I was reading, everywhere I was listening to, I like to say expectations were a little low. Maybe that's why we're so high on Carson Beck right now because going into that game, it was kind of just a middle plane of an expectation for Carson Beck. But I think he did a terrific job with his opportunity. I think he did a perfect job on it. He wasn't throwing any bad passes into some terrible coverages and stuff like that. He was throwing perfect balls on a rope deep, finding his guys. Because you'll see in these rookie quarterbacks when they come in, check down, check down, check down. Oh, right to the sticks, check down, check down, check down. Carson Beck was not doing that. And he was also showing that he was composed in that pocket in his first NFL game. That is awesome stuff to see. And so let's see what the rest of preseason and the rest of training camp can do for Carson Beck. But let's talk about Haynes King, too.
Mhm.
He played a great. We had a great quarterback duel in this Hall of Fame game. Haynes
Did he get
King went,
hurt?
yeah,
Okay, because I didn't watch the game, but I saw like a shitty headline that he played really well and he got hurt.
yeah, but he threw 34 passes, and then Kenny Pickett came in. He went 21 for 34, two passing touchdowns, 180 yards. But Haynes King, that game winning. Well, no, he got hurt in the game, but then he came back, and then he scored the game winning touchdown, rushing it in. That was just awesome. Final play of the first preseason game, and he rushes it in to win the Hall of Fame game. But Haynes King he also looked composed. I know Bryce Young is going to be the starting quarterback. He's the franchise guy. He's going to be the quarterback for years to come, hopefully, um, over there in Carolina. It's hard to say that there's a great chance that he beats out Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett also with his I would like to say like he wasn't given the same opportunity as Hayes has King in this game, but I think he has to apply some pressure on King now. Our King has to apply some pressure on Pickett. Um, he was just like Carson Beck. He was throwing terrific balls, no bad coverages. He was throwing like you would see out of an inexperienced quarterback. Because some of these guys would be throwing into like triple coverages, trying to do a little too much with the opportunity given, just to try and make this 53-man roster, or just try to keep your career alive. Both of those two quarterbacks at Hall of Fame game, I think, did a terrific job on commanding the offense, did a terrific job on throwing in great situational balls, and not throwing in tight coverages. And honestly, it looks like reading the defenses too. I think both of them did a terrific job. Carson Beck makes a lot of sense because he's played a lot of college football. Haynes
So
King,
is
on the
Haynes
other
King
hand,
too.
what's
Hayes
up?
King I think Haynes King has played like just as much college
Yeah,
ball.
both of those two quarterbacks have played a lot of
Yeah,
football in college. So I think it's a very good. I think like honestly at that quarterback position where you need a lot of experience,
yeah.
staying in college for those extra year or two, honestly has showed that it could be a terrific idea for other quarterbacks. Obviously, if you are one of the ones that you can leave after your junior year or be a first round pick after your senior year, you do it. But if you want an extra year, it honestly does not hurt because look at what Carson Beck and then look at Haynes King. Those guys have played so much college football that I think it really prepped them for their preseason debut. And honestly, it showed out great. But what do you think about Haynes King's preseason debut?
Um, Again, like kind of like Carson Beck, he showed a great amount of ability and form. I'm gonna need to see a bit more consistent performances in order to put a judgment on him. But in terms of the correlation between quarterbacks staying that extra year or two in college and coming to the pros, I think it really only applies to, and this might sound bad, but like bigger, more athletic quarterbacks. Because last year we saw Dylan Gabriel come in after playing, I think he has the record for the most games played of any player in college football history across, like Oklahoma, Oregon, all of these places where he spent time. And like I don't know if you're going to find many people on the street who enjoy Dylan Gabriel as a pro quarterback. And after seeing what he does, but when you look at Carson Beck and like Haynes King's a big guy. Carson Beck is not as big as Haynes King, but like they're both like you can tell they were both um quarterbacks in the deep south for a little bit. Haynes King, of course, in the ACC. Carson Beck spent time in the SEC and then the ACC. But still, um, I like what I saw from Haynes King for sure. I believe there is a lane, a career lane, uh which you can kind of plan for at the outset of your NFL career, and that is to be the quality journeyman, whatever, backup quarterback, fill-in
Yeah, like
quarterback,
a second string quarterback. If you have to move around the league, you have to move around. But if you're a consistent two
like a
quarterback in the
hired
league,
gun, almost like
yeah,
that, like a mercenary, like somebody you hire just to do a little bit of work for a short amount of time. But like when you hire this guy, you know that he is likely going to see the field a bit more than a regular backup, although he is not, you're not bringing him in to directly challenge for the starting job.
yeah.
Um, Haynes King could be a starter, I think, in this league. I think he could. I think Carson Beck could be a starter. I think Carson Beck is more of a pro-ready quarterback than Haynes King.
And Carson
Um,
Beck's already in a better situation. Like we know Jacoby Brissett, when he does get when he's given the keys,
yeah,
he kind of loses his way a little bit halfway through the season, and then ultimately gets benched. And then we find a brand new quarterback in whatever his situation is. Carson Beck's kind of in a lucky situation because then he also has Gardner Minshew right behind him, behind
yeah.
Brissett. So he's kind of in a pretty solid situation if he wants to play some real prominent downs in the National Football League. That's a pretty good quarterback room to do it because we've seen that these quarterbacks have failed.
But I think Haynes King might be, and the reason why I say Haynes King would be in a better situation, just to propose an argument to that, is because his weapons, and when
Okay,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah, the
about
roster is better, yeah.
T-Mac at wide out, who's their other receiver? Not Jalen
Jalen
Horn Jr.,
Croker.
Jalen Coker.
Jimmy
The
Horn
lot,
too, but he's behind Croker on the depth chart, and then you have
yep.
Xavier Legette as the third, but Jimmy Horn, John Mechie too. Like we're gonna talk about Canadians in a second here after we talk about a couple more things, but
I
yeah,
just my thing is, and sorry to cut you off, it's because Carson Beck doesn't have like a safety outlet. Like Trey McBride is his safety line. That's his lifeline.
yeah.
That's the guy who he can pass to in an emergency situation. Marvin Harrison Jr. has not shown the competence in order to
Michael
have the
Wilson has though a little bit, but
Michael
yeah,
Wilson
but
has, but
not in the same. Yeah, yeah, you're right though, but not in the same kind of realm as this Carolina Panthers receiving core, and even in the run game too, because they're coming in with a rookie running back. The Cards are
behind a shitty O line.
behind a terrible O line. Yep.
Yeah, that's it, right? So I don't know. Arizona to me is a mess. Like I think Arizona is kind of along the lines of, excuse me, Cleveland, the Jets. Like I think they're that
Yeah,
low.
like
I think
roster built wise, but
I
I
think
think there's a lot more fun to look at the Arizona Cardinals roster. Like Jeremiah Love, he'll do. Tyler Algier, is he going to get another chance? Well, he's probably going to be. Is he? He's right now competing for the starting job with Jeremiah Love, but Jeremiah Love's ultimately going to win it. Let's be fair. Let's be real.
Tyler
But
Algier
Marvin
wasn't
Harrison
even bad.
Jr. like he's a good storyline too. Like we can only see what is posted on social media because we're not going to Arizona and we're not there watching every single practice. We're seeing what everyone's posting on social media. We're going on what people are talking about on the radio shows and what people are talking about on television.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr., it sounds like he's having one tough camp right now. He's having some good days, but not stacking up those good days. He's having more bad days than good days, it seems like right now. So it's been kind of tough. But I got to say, the Arizona Cardinals, yeah, they're for sure a mess. The Panthers, though, the Carolina Panthers, on the other hand, they're fun. But the reason why I think Carson Beck was in a better situation is because he actually has a real possibility chance of playing real down football. Haynes King, he has Bryce Young. If something drastically happens to Bryce Young, then he's probably going to get thrown in there. But it's probably going to be alternately Kenny Pickett. And then it will be Haynes King.
Just trying to find some stats here that signifies Marvin Harrison Jr. It's hard to find stats. It's hard, it's weird. Like ESPN will give you all the stats in the world, but they won't give you drops. Simple shit like that. Um, let's see here. So this is for 2025, 26. So this is I'm gonna um I don't know if the fan base of the Daniel Federico show enjoys a little pro football focus action.
I like Pro Football Focus, so I like it.
Okay, so he had a 68.4 overall PFF grade for 2025. I don't know if that's a great grade or not. You would
Yeah,
probably
those
know.
grades I don't pay attention. I like the more in-depth stats and like routes, how many he
He,
won.
he ranked 46th among 81 qualified wide receivers. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a lottery pick. Let's see here. He had 41 receptions on 72 targets for 608 yards and four touchdowns in 2025. Let's see here. Five drops last year alone. You spent, what was the fourth pick on him? Was it the fourth or the third pick
A lottery
in
pick for
20
sure.
in 2024, 23,
23 because he was going the last year was the second year.
24. Yeah,
Oh,
so
it'll be 24
24.
season, 24 and then 25. Yeah, just gotta do some math right there for a
Yeah, so
second.
you know what? Like I don't know. It'd be
Marvin
cool.
Harrison Jr. though, his college career, how it went being one of the most dominant receivers in college football. I think he just has to find that. I think honestly, I think he's just lacking some confidence right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's got to build a bit of that up. But I mean,
And
like,
you see that though a lot though. You see that a lot in young football players. Confidence could get cut short early.
you see it with
Um,
quarterbacks though. It's weird.
yeah, like
Like I've
Kyler
never
Murray obviously did not help out his case.
like when's the last time you seen a young receiver? He won the Bolitnikoff Award, Heisman finalist.
Yeah, wins
Like
it all.
literally, when have you seen a wide receiver? And you know the type of mentalities they have when they have confidence issues. Like you almost don't really see that. It's really weird. Like you know what I mean? Like would you ever see like I don't know. Like okay, here's one for you. Like Matthew Golden objectively didn't have a great year for the Green Bay Packers last year.
Yeah.
I think he's a very talented football player. I think he's going to have a fine career.
I
Would you
think oh yeah, actually go on, continue. Yeah.
would you say that he has a confidence issue? I don't think he
I don't
does.
think so. No.
So, but again, like I'm not
But I
opposed.
also think with rookies, man, like it doesn't matter what position you play in. It's going to be harder to adapt in the National Football League. It's just going to be just like that. So you have to give them a year or two.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills have already wrote off Keon Coleman in his second season.
Well, they're good, fine, no chances. No, it shouldn't be. It should. We should not handing out chances. As a Bills fan, I'll speak. Okay, I'm not doing this because I'll
No,
just
but I
freaking
think I
dog
think
like
every
from
rookie
Scott.
deserves chances.
Stupid fucking jerseys,
Yeah.
fucking everything, man.
But
Like,
I think rookies deserve chances more than one chance. Like obviously they've given Keon Coleman numerous chances, blah blah
yeah.
blah. But rookie quarterback or rookie receivers, not even just rookies in general, take longer to adapt. In the National Football League. It's grown men now. The game is quicker. You're playing against all pro DBs now. You're not playing against some guy, some 18-year-old from I
Mhm.
don't know Georgia Southern.
I think it's one of those things where like, and you see it whenever, like, basically in every sport. What you get when you get, ironically, not in soccer, because I was listening to an interview with Jamie Carragher where he didn't feel this way when he went into Liverpool's senior men's team. But oftentimes when you have the jump from whatever minor uh, collegiate to a pro level, the jump is there. Like you realize
Yeah.
right away as soon as you get there, like, all right, it's a different level. And like most guys in the NFL, in the NBA, in the NHL, you know within the first few days if they're going to stick or not. Like you just have it or you don't, right? Um, I think the fact that I don't know, man. I think there needs to be I think there's a different level of trust that you instill in players depending on their position. Like I wouldn't like to me this is Marvin Harrison Jr.'s last chance at redemption until
But
I
that's rightfully so though, because we're about to go on a year three of seeing this of just mediocrity. That makes a
yeah,
lot of sense. He's had
but
two full seasons to prove himself. That's 2 years. So
I
yeah,
also
it makes
believe
sense.
it's different for quarterbacks. Like the benchmark should be a year. That's it. If he's the starter outright after his whatever junior senior year of college and he comes in and he's a starter week one, he needs to be good in his first year. I'm not in the business, and this might be just me of like because I'm really impatient. That's just who I am. I'm sure you guys know that. Like I'm really impatient. I don't like waiting for stuff and shit. But like I feel like quarterbacks need 1 year. None of this JJ McCarthy crap. None of this stuff that holds back your franchise while you have other talented players on the
Oh,
roster that are wasting their prime. Justin Jefferson, what are you still doing in Minnesota? You know what I mean? Like they're
but that makes sense. But that goes back to the question where quarterbacks are going to take obviously longer now. The defense alignments, moving, the shuffling, the pre-snap motions for just defenses and try to examine all that because you're not just clapping now and the ball's coming to you and you already have a hot route in
yeah.
college. You're going to the NFL. You got to dissect the defense way better than what you did in college because, again, you're not playing an FCS school week one on week zero of college football or for the first 3 weeks of the season. You're playing the Alabama's week in and week out. You're playing Georgia week in and week out now when you enter the National Football League. So you just have to be mentally prepared and mentally ready for the National Football League. And so I would like to say you give them, there's a reason why the rookie contract is 4 years and sometimes an add on as a fifth because you got to give them that seasons. Rookie quarterbacks, in my eyes, unless they are him, should never start year one. Year two, you give them the keys, or year three, depending on what the quarterback situation is like. And then after that, because they've already had 3 years, let's say 2 to 1, no, let's say they have 2 years. They have 2 years to learn behind a veteran quarterback, hopefully a good veteran quarterback. And then you give them the keys and they suck. There we go. That's 3 years of opportunities wasted. There we go. Give them 3 years. But if you're starting right away, your rookie year is not going to be good. Like, it's just not. It's going to have a lot of ups and downs. Just now you're adapted to the NFL in real time and fast time. So all that learning you would have done in your first year as a backup quarterback, it's just out the window because now you're learning everything on the fly. You're going from a clap snap to now dissecting all pro players.
Yeah, but Jaden Daniels came in year one and was great. Like we've seen guys come in year one and they
Yeah, we know
actually
we've
would.
seen it. We've seen it. That's what I'm saying. They're the ones. They're that.
So I'll extend it, be a little more lenient, and just say I'll give you 2 years total, especially if you're not starting your first year. But if you're not starting your first year and you're learning behind a seasoned quarterback, and I don't see anything by week 5 of the next season, you're out. I'm not even considering giving you your. That's what I like. I feel like the league is so fast paced right now, and I feel like the league is evolving in terms of how they build teams, and teams now want to win quicker. You know what I mean? So we have that 4 year rookie deal for a quarterback. Well, now I think in 2026, 4 years is just simply way too long to wait. It's simply way too long to wait,
But
and it's
look at
how
Jordan
teams,
Love. He was learning behind a terrific quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, a future Hall of Famer, and
but
I
they
think
haven't
that's
won
the best
anything.
thing to help. I think that helped him the best.
Yeah, but he hasn't. But even then, like I will sit here right now and I will tell you that I think Jordan Love is mid as hell. I don't think he's a good quarterback.
I
And
think he's a pretty solid quarterback for to be one of the stars. Obviously, he's not a top 15 quarterback in the NFL or
I
top
take
10 quarterback.
I take Jared Goff 10 times over than Jordan Love.
But yeah, well, I think many people would. I think Jared Goff is a pretty clean quarterback.
Okay, I'll take
Jordan Love, on the other hand, though, I think once he got those keys when Rodgers left, he did a terrific job. I think he's done a pretty good job as being the starting quarterback and being the face of Green Bay Packers. And I think he would have never gone that way if Rodgers wasn't there and he didn't have to and he didn't learn behind a veteran quarterback and a future Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers. If he was thrown in right away, he would have been out of the league already.
yeah, but like why has he not turned into what we want him to be? Like the guy gets paid 55 mil. He is not 55 mil. Like I'm not even close to being anything remotely worth of $55 million a year. Like he's not spectacular. He doesn't even do anything like he doesn't make the crowd jump out of their seats at Lambeau. You know what I mean? Like and
He's
he's
a
not
game manager. I like to say he's a game manager,
he
and I
hasn't
think that
won.
I think that's what Green Bay needs right now.
Sure, but he hasn't won. Like, and he's still like again, like I wouldn't back him. Like I don't have confidence in the guy, and he learned behind probably the best quarterback to learn behind ever, unless the next guy, whoever takes over after Patrick Mahomes, is going into a pretty good situation.
Pretty
But
solid.
like look at Patrick Mahomes. Like he learned behind a significantly lesser quarterback than Aaron Rodgers,
But
and
that helps. Alex Smith was still a terrific teacher for him.
but he's not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but people think, I think it's more Wisconsin fans, or I think it's just NFL people think once Aaron Rodgers left, here's his understudy of Jordan Love.
Hmm.
We're going to see Aaron Rodgers 2.0. Like we've seen it all when they were comparing stats in their first like 5 starts. Aaron Rodgers and their like, all their numbers are similar. They're just comparing Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers. There's only going to be one Aaron Rodgers in this world. You got to let Jordan Love just do his thing. Let him just compose the offense. Like he protects the ball to on a pretty good extent too. So I think Jordan Love, he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be a long quarterback for the Green Bay Packers unless something drastic happens, like we see 23 touchdowns and 24 interceptions. But I think right now with Jordan Love and being the successor from Aaron Rodgers, he's done a pretty solid job over there. Yeah, he's not a top 10 quarterback. Yeah, he's not top 15, but people are comparing him to be once Aaron Rodgers left, they're like, "Oh, he's going to be the second coming of Jesus. He's going to be the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. Why have we not won a Super Bowl yet?" And to be honest, the roster's still not made up of like popping eye talent.
It was though when he got there.
Maybe in 2023, but that was his best season.
Yeah, but that was also after 2, 3 years on the bench. Like you should be ready. Like by then you should be ready. Like
It
actually, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like I,
3 years off the bench, he played terrific football.
what did he? What was? Let me look at
He
his.
went 32 for 11 for almost for like 4,000 yards.
How many touchdowns and picks?
32 and 11.
Oh, 32 and 11. What was his completion percentage?
90 his completion percentage was 64.
Okay. Does that sound like $55 million a year to you?
Well,
If
no.
that's his
I would say no, for sure his contract is an overpay, 100%.
he is worth 30 at best, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, I could agree with you that, but I just think that what he's doing with the Green Bay Packers right now, after 3 full years of being the starting quarterback there over there in Green Bay, he's done a pretty solid job.
I'll give you that. I'll give you this. He's what they need in terms of being the game manager type. Like he's cool, calm, and collected. He's not gonna make you jump out of your seat, but like he's gonna win you some games. But I will predict this, and this is gonna be a show bet if you want. They will never win a Super Bowl under his tenure. because that division is getting better and they're quickly falling behind. I know Minnesota's trying everything in their damnedest to be a bad team, but still, Green Bay will not win a Super Bowl in the Jordan Love era. And how old is he already? He's like 27, right? Something.
He's
He's got to
27
be up
years
there.
old. Yeah, he's
Wow,
27.
that's good guess. But like he didn't turn it around. Like he didn't become an elite guy from year 1 to 2 like Caleb Williams did. He doesn't strike me as somebody who is going to be the best player on a championship team ever either. Like, and that's I don't know. I feel like that era has gone past us. Like back when the Bucks won in 2000 and like what was it like 01 or 02 when they had one of the best defenses of all time. But who was their quarterback? Was it like Brad Johnson or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, so like that's what I mean. I feel like that era is mostly come and gone. And people could be like, "Oh, Sam Darnold, like you're a Seahawks fan." Yeah, well, Sam freaking Darnold is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. And we've seen that over the last 2 years. Sam Darnold's last 2 years have been better than Jordan Love's pro career in total. Sure, he played for the Jets. Stick Jordan Love on the Jets. He's going winless. That's like, there's double standards for every quarterback, and there's double standards that every team kind of places on their quarterbacks. And that is why, to me, like, this whole system of bringing new guys in and drafting them and then getting them ready is so flawed, too. Because, like, the standards switch so often, but also conversely, I feel like they give too many chances to guys that they just simply want to believe in sometimes. That their jobs are connected to sometimes, which is granted,
That
like
yeah,
it's
that's
my job,
granted.
but I don't know. I feel like the benchmark for being a really good quarterback nowadays is like it's not just statistical anymore. Like you need to be the chief source of your team's success, and you should be on one of the best teams in the
So
league.
yeah, your benchmark for being a starter in the National Football League to perform is 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, 2 years, especially 2 years if well, here's the thing. Like if he's going on his second year after starting his rookie year and he had a bad rookie year, then like it might even be by week 6 of the second year. I don't have time to play this game for an extra year.
But let's say you invested a first overall pick in him, you have to give him at least the rookie contract. Like you have to. You wasted like a first round pick on a first overall pick, let's say of that. You gotta have to give it out. Like, there's gonna be scenarios where you have to let him play out. But let's say he's a second round player. He got drafted. He got thrown in. Or let's go all the way back to Dak Prescott when he got drafted late in the NFL draft. He was throwing the keys unexpectedly because Tony Romo got hurt. Tony Romo then retired. But let's say Dak Prescott had a terrible rookie year. Um, they would have found a replacement right in that draft the year after, right? Because he was not ever meant to be the starting quarterback. But if you're drafted in the first 2 rounds and you're somehow slated as a starter right away, you kind of have to give him that rookie deal to be
I mean, yeah, I mean, like,
like.
I think the
There's
variables
scenarios.
only.
There's scenarios for this.
Well, if the first overall pick, if I'm using the first overall pick on a guy, right? I'm getting that's the only scenario where I'm going to give him an extension past my own limits of like, but still, like, I'm gonna make headlines for being somewhat of a pretty cutthroat, maybe kind of a dick, like a GM, like something
Man,
like
you'd be
that.
a
Like,
cutthroat GM. You'd be a
well, because like
cutthroat.
this is the way it is now, right? Like, this is the way the NFL is. Like, money. And smart drafting can build you a championship team in as little as 2 seasons sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, look at Detroit's turnaround. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We've seen more strides from Detroit than we have seen. Okay, we've seen more strides from Detroit in the Dan Campbell era than we have from the Green Bay Packers in the Matt LaFleur era. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I simply don't have time for middle of the pack quarterback play. And I'm sorry if your dream was to be, oh my God, this sounds so bad, dude. I'm sorry if your dream was to be a big time NFL quarterback, but you can play for another team because I don't have time for losing. And sure, I may fall on my face. I may be an embarrassment. I may get laughed at, like Rossini and Vrabel. Why the hell hasn't that involved yet? That's another
Yeah.
training camp storyline that needs to be looked at. Just kidding. I'm just trying to stir the pot. But still, like I just feel like there's a way to do things now, and there's a way to win, and winning is about not giving more chances than you should. Like personally, I would have already cut ties with CJ Stroud if I was in Houston.
Come on, no way.
Oh, absolutely
No
way.
way.
No, like actually, like yes. Come on, you showed me what you needed to show me in that playoff game against the Patriots, and I know that was the worst conditions you're ever gonna face, but guess what? You showed me your limit. That was embarrassing. And frankly, it's been a few years now since he actually was playing well in the league in his rookie season. So yeah, I'd have moved on from CJ Stroud. I probably would have moved on from Bryce Young as well. There's a lot of guys I would have moved on from. CJ Stroud, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Michigan fan, because like he did like shit all over us in college, but still, the guy has not shown he can be an NFL quarterback. Like Shadur Sanders, like this wouldn't even be a conversation for me this offseason. Like the guy was horrible last year. And then, yeah, you have people still trying to convince themselves that he has a future. I don't believe he has a future.
You don't
Do
think
you, and
Shador Sanders has a future?
yeah, I don't, do you?
I think he has a future. I think that team's terrible though. I
I
think
don't think
now
he
with the
has a
young
future.
core that they have there, I think it's be make or break. But but like CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, I would have not moved on from them yet. Like
I
I
think
would
it's just the kind of guy
I
I am. Like, I'm pretty unreasonable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a pretty
you'd be a
unreasonable
crazy
person.
negotiator with contract negotiators as the general manager.
No, like, I mean, maybe, like, honestly, like, here's what's gonna sound like a little messed up. I'll give my guys money. I'll get you. You play for me. You play well for me. Like you're gonna get taken care of because
Yeah.
I want you with me. But I don't have time for people that aren't going to improve their perform. Like you're playing in the freaking NFL. You either belong or you don't. You don't belong. You don't belong. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. That's what it is. Like you're playing on an NFL roster, and college football is going to be this way now because guys are now getting paid to play.
Yeah, the
You're now
NIL.
you're now a you're now considered an asset. And if
Yeah.
you're not performing as an asset, doors that way, pal. And I don't know. I just I mean, like we could do a whole show on like the list of quarterbacks I would have cut already, I guarantee you.
You would probably cut like 20 quarterbacks by now.
Well, I
Because they've
let's
got Texans for CJ Shaw, they've gone to the playoffs each year. They've keep on continuously losing in the divisional round. Um,
all right.
but yeah, like if you're talking about his quarterback play, I can get where you're coming from. Like it's not like eye popping, it's nothing like that. But like the playoff games, though, he has been playing bad in. But what he has done as he commanded the offense, it goes a lot more than just stats and box score watching, though. It goes on how if he can keep this team into each game week in and week out, that's a pretty good quarterback right there. Because his leadership qualities are good, um, and is how he commands that offense. That's been the good. You got to take the goods with it. When he's only been in the league for 3 years, and they've honestly been quite pretty solid, winning the division 2 times as he's been the starting quarterback over there. I know losing in the divisional round 3 straight years has been a tough one. But they're coming off their best record under CJ Stroud, 12-5.
Well, that's the only reason why I'm telling you. Yeah, but that defense was like
Exactly, but he has a pretty
scary.
solid defense. The defense does keep them in the games. Defense do win a lot of games for him. But I think with this offense right now, I think CJ Stroud is doing a pretty solid job right now. He's all in the regular season. Let's be honest, we could all talk about those playoff games. We could all talk about those playoff losses. In the regular season, though, he's not turning over the ball a scary amount. He's protecting that ball to a pretty good extent. I just think CJ Stroud's been a pretty good quarterback in the 3 years that we've seen him. I just think, and Bryce Young too. I think after the first year, where it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on with Bryce Young? I think he's starting to pick up his play, especially after last season. He started picking up his play. You've got to give young quarterbacks time in the National Football League. You've got to give just young players time in the National Football League. Just like I said, you're not playing against Georgia Southern. You're not playing against Syracuse. You're not playing against those type of schools each week. You're playing against the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Notre Dames. You're playing against the big dogs week in and week out. on a 17 game season now in the National Football League. So obviously you're not going to be meant. You're no pro player and as a rookie is going to be mentally prepared to face off that. You got to have good coaches that will know how to really teach up quickly for the National Football League. Look at Jaden Daniels. He had a terrific coaching staff over there. He had a great head coach over there. He had a great offensive coaches over there. Really got him ready up to speed quickly. But sometimes I could see it good just throwing your rookie quarterback in right away as a nice little quickly learning curve, like we just saw with Cam Ward in Tennessee. Um, but CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, I would not cut them, would not bench them at all. I think they're really starting to progress. I know like that's kind of crazy to say because CJ Stroud did degress this season, but you got to give him time. You got to give him, I want to say, if you're starting year one, 4 years right away, 4 full years, depending on how bad it actually is. Like if they're playing terrible, like if they're playing like they're just causing 100 turnovers halfway through the season, okay, it's okay. This guy's not an NFL quarterback. Like, you could tell it by there. I think it's different positions too. Kind of, you're gonna have to adapt. Offensive linemen, young offensive linemen will take longer to adapt, and that's just normal. I think that's the more. That's I think that's way more normal than a skill position like a quarterback, like a receiver, like a running back to adapt. I think you got to give your offensive line, especially your young dogs, some time because now they're going, especially on who they're going up against each week, especially in the tackle position. Like imagine they're going up against Myles Garrett one week, and then let's say their first ever NFL game they're going up against Myles Garrett, and then the second game they're going up against T.J. Watt or whatever. And then the third game they're going up against like Jared Verse. And then the fourth game they're going up against like you know what I mean? Like it depending on what their matchups are. You got to
Yeah.
give their offensive line some looks. You got to give them some time. I think everybody at least deserves a minimum 3 to 4 years in the National Football League, and that's when you kind of will have a good sample size. But just depends though. If you're just playing okay in the National Football League as a rookie, you got some time. But if you're playing horrible, terrible, they're going to eat you and swallow you out quickly after a year. And I get that. 2 years is probably a perfect benchmark, but I'm going to go 3.
Yeah, I don't know if I can agree with you. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah, you're a cutthroat general
if I
manager.
see regression after you have a really good rookie season, like that's not going to give me any confidence. And especially if you're CJ Stroud. I'm mainly talking with CJ Stroud with this, like not really Bryce Young. But like the Panthers in a winnable division, why have you not like that's what I'm saying. Like in a really winnable division, maybe quarterback is the big change you need to make. Like it's
Well, I
what
think I
if
think
you
this is actually going to be the season to check that one out.
okay, well I guess
Because
this is
I
so
think I think team wise Panthers got better.
okay, but CJ Stroud, you lose the division round every year. You have not shown me that you can move past a certain level in the playoffs. And guess what? It only gets tougher after that game.
Yeah.
Um, you have not faced the best of the best in a playoff situation yet. And when you do, based on what you have done in your 3 years as an NFL quarterback, I can't in good conscience place my confidence in you. Um, Also, they're in a winnable division. Quarterback might well be the change that they need to make to stay the winners of that division for the next 10 to 15 years. CJ Stroud has not looked like to me like he will be a game changer for that franchise. Like in terms of bringing a franchise their first Super Bowl, like I can't in a million years ever see it being CJ Stroud. I actually have the list of starting quarterbacks pulled up. I can, if you want, tell me who I would have canned. It is somewhat.
Let's hear it. So, what's actually we can make this like into a reel right here. So,
I mean, it's so much hate. Just friggin' hate. Taz, what the hell? What are you doing? Guess what, guys? I am not an easy guy to play for. So
so
I have crazy high standards. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I gotta win, especially if you're in the pros. I gotta win. So let's start it off.
yeah,
Arizona
let's
Cardinals.
do this like this. So you have the quarterback list already up, all the quarterbacks in the league. So you're going all starters, right?
Yeah, I'm literally just doing alphabetical order.
Every
Arizona's
single
first, and then the last is gonna be the Washington
every
Commanders.
single starting quarterback in the National Football League, Nicky Taz, you're the general manager. Who would you cut today in the National Football League as the starting quarterback or bench? Let's go bench. Or what do you actually cut him? What do you want to go?
I'll cut him. I'll have a free up roster spot.
Free up a
Um,
roster spot. So what starting quarterback in the National Football League are you cutting?
all right, so let's start. Arizona Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett. By my own standards, I would cut him, but he has shown value. He has shown value, but he has not been billed as that crazy first round quarterback that you give that rookie deal to with all the guaranteed money. So I'd keep him. Kirko, same thing. Keeping you. You had an unfair deal in Atlanta. Lamar Jackson, obviously. Josh Allen, keeping, obviously. Bryce Young, gone. Caleb Williams, keeping. He actually showed progress in a relatively short term. Joe Burrow, I'm keeping him, but we're getting to the point now where it's like, are you just a stat patter? That's going to get me hate you watch. People are not going to like that. Shadur Sanders, gone, gone, gone,
After one season, cut.
gone. Dak Prescott probably would have
You got to keep
today,
Dak.
today,
Look at the
today. I
numbers
would
he's putting.
Today I would cut him, but based on how he came to league, like no, I wouldn't. Like 2016, he was amazing, and then he had a pretty good he had a pretty good stretch until like 2020, the COVID year. I think that was when he snapped his ankle.
Yeah, he
But yeah,
broke it.
like
You're cutting Dak Prescott.
yeah, I'm cutting Dak Prescott. Would
Like
you?
that,
You like Dak, right? Do you like
yeah,
Dak?
Dak's a top 15 quarterback in the league right now.
Oh, I'm not gonna argue with that at all. Like I
You
believe
just
that. I
want to see
still
Joe Milton take the reins, eh?
no, I mean like I don't really know about that. I mean like get in the running for Dante Moore, tank for Dante. Denver Broncos Bo Nix, no, because he's shown pretty good play in his relative few years. Jared Goff, no, went to a Super Bowl and since he came to Detroit, hit the ground running. CJ Stroud, gone. Um, Indianapolis Colts, Wikipedia has it listed as Riley Leonard. I'm gonna say no just because like he played half decently when we saw
I would say
him.
I would give you it's Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, and Riley Leonard. What two quarterbacks are you
Uh,
keeping in that roster?
Anthony Richardson is the spitting image of what I would consider to be gone after first year. Like gone, 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 gone. As soon as the first stretch of adversity hit him, yeah, literally gone. Daniel Jones, you're gone too. Like you should have been gone before you even came. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, gone.
Wait, you
Los
say
Angeles.
gone?
No, I'm joking. I just want to see what you'd say.
No,
Just want to see what you would say.
I was like, holy shit.
No, no. Haven't won a Super Bowl in a few years. No, I'm joking. Raiders. Um, yeah, Wikipedia hasn't messed up because they had Kirk at Atlanta. So I'll just say Kirk again. You're fine. Like stay. Chargers, Justin Herbert. You're good, but again, like Joe Burrow, we're getting to the point where it's like, are you a stat patter? Matt Stafford, stay. I guess it'd be Malik Willis for Miami. I mean, I guess you can stay. It's not like he wasn't a first rounder. He kind of dropped in the
And
draft.
he just stayed. He just signed a contract.
As a Michigan fan, I'm proud to announce that I'd like JJ McCarthy out of the league. Patriots, Drake May, stay. Saints, Tyler Shuck, stay. Giants, Jackson Dart. I'll frankly admit this. I don't like him as a human being. I think he's annoying as hell. So that just personally lessens the amount of time I would give him as my starter. And him jumping off a yacht in like that desert and stuff. Like you're so stupid, dude. You got Cam Scatterbo tearing his just literally having the bone of his ankle come out of his body, and then he's doing a backflip and mislanding it. Like, yeah, go Giants. Brady Cook. I mean, I guess
Well,
Geno
no.
Smith
No.
would be
They're starting
Geno
quarterback.
Smith. Geno
They're
Smith.
yeah, it'd be Geno Smith.
Gone. There you go. Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles. This is an interesting one because
You got to keep Hurts.
I mean, like as a winner, yeah, I'm just that's the only reason why I'm keeping him. But like the guy's not a great quarterback. Like he doesn't have the best arm talent. So that's the only I'll keep him because he's Jalen Hurts and he can win. Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, cut ties. What are we doing still? Like why are we doing this playing up to him so he can have his retirement tour? Like, come on, you're a franchise. Get your shit together. San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy. I can't in good conscience cut him because he has been to two Super Bowls in a relatively close time span. Seahawks, Sam Darnold, that's the guy. It's the guy. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. Keep. We're gonna keep Baker
I
Mayfield.
like that a lot.
Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward hasn't had enough time. I'd be breaking my own
Yeah,
formula. We're
your
gonna
own
keep him.
rule. But no, he
And
looked he had great showings last year. So you
yeah,
got to
and
keep
I
him.
think it can only be better with Carnell Tate and the emergence of some of these other guys. And then Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, keep, keep, but, and I'll tell you this, the NFC Championship is saving him for me. Keep, but we're getting year three now. I know he was hurt last year.
Yep.
Year three is the beginning of show me something consistently stage.
Yeah.
So that's the full list of 32 quarterbacks that I would set. Like I don't know, man. Like I feel
Wait, so
like
what
guys
did you
like to
say?
play
What did
for
you
me.
say for Atlanta? Because you said Kirk twice
Yeah, so Atlanta, the starter is going to be probably Penix, right?
or Tua. Yeah, they're in a battle right now.
Both God. My brother's a Dolphin.
Who's quarterback three in Atlanta?
Oh God,
I'm about to Google that.
I don't know, but you know who it feels like it should be? It
Hmm.
feels like Kenny Pickett should be the third stringer of the Atlanta Falcons.
Kenny Pickett, that'd be a great place for Kenny Pickett to go. Can Atlanta Falcons depth chart 2026 depth chart. Obviously, it's not. It's Cooper Rush, former Cowboy. Okay,
Oh,
that's
Cooper,
an ugly quarterback room. Very
dude.
ugly. But I think it's Tua going to be the starter. Are you gonna cut Tua, make Penix the starter?
Oh, I'd cut them both. I mean, just Penix hasn't showed me anything.
Cooper Rush, the starting quarterback in Atlanta.
I mean, if for a little bit until I can, I don't know, see if I can persuade Philip Rivers to get off his ass again or something. I don't know.
Call him off the couch. Let's say this. Actually, next episode I'm gonna have you as an entire GM.
Oh my God, you want me to build a team?
I want you to build a team,
All right.
starter, backup, starter, backup. We're not going through like deep benches. We're not gonna go that. Starter, backup on every position. Um,
Okay, I'm down. That sounds
and
fun.
we're gonna dissect it. And then we're gonna go through the 2027 draft, not based on the college stats that they're gonna put up this year, just up the hype and all that, and who you would draft and that. Or we'll simulate your season. I gotta find a way. We gotta do a fun way. I think we can find a fun way to do this as GM Nikki Taz. I kind of like this. This could be a great series you put on.
This is gonna get the show either so much hate or
But
love.
imagine we simulate it. You win the Super Bowl. The GM of Nikki Taz might be the best GM. Strong negotiator too. Get some contract. Oh, well, we're gonna find a good, fun way to do this. A good series. We'll make this into a series, but we do got to move on though.
Yeah.
Um, Kyler Murray, I think we already knew it that he was going to be named the starting quarterback there in Minnesota. JJ McCarthy loses that quarterback battle. What do you think about Kyler Murray being the starter this year? Do you think how long is it going to last? And C, what's going to happen with JJ McCarthy?
Kyler Murray is a pretty good placeholder at quarterback for this whole thing. I think this is JJ McCarthy's last foray as like a starter in the NFL. So he'll get his opportunities. He'll get some playing time. I wouldn't be surprised early on in the season if you see a rotating system of quarterbacks. Kevin O'Connell, obviously being a former quarterback himself, of course known as like the quarterback guru of the NFL. I believe that he will try his damnedest to get one last time to get everything he can out of JJ McCarthy. If not, you'll see JJ McCarthy kind of flounder around as a backup for a bit. Kyler Murray will be the starter likely the rest of the season, unless if he gets hurt, of course. But yeah, I mean, I don't see them winning more than 8 games, and that's just kind of where they've been now for the last few years, which kind of sucks because they had that one stretch under Kirk where like they were a real threat for the NFC for the first time in like 8 years. Before that, like before that, the it was with Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs and all those boys. But like now, I think this is a really important year to determine what McCarthy's future looks like. And if you're O'Connell, you need to be viewing Kyler Murray as a placeholder and then look at how he leads your team in the short term. Because if he shows right off the bat that he doesn't have his stuff, then you're never thinking about Kyler Murray to be your long-term quarterback anyway, if that makes sense. So I think you're mostly taking things at a game by game basis. it's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell, but I think we see Kyler Murray. I'm ready to say that we see him for the year, uh, unless of course he goes down or I don't know, McCarthy turns into Superman. Like it's likely not going to happen, but yeah,
It's going to be a make or break year for Kyler Murray. We already know that when he signed that 1 year deal after his stint over there in Arizona. JJ McCarthy, on the other hand, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I thought he was doing some great showings in camp. But I think once Kyler Murray signed, everybody around the NFL knew that Kyler Murray was going to be the starting quarterback, win the quarterback job. I think Kevin O'Connell had that in place since day one. JJ McCarthy, now, I think he had some great moments last season when he was the starting quarterback. Um, I just guess not good enough. Now, what's going to happen with him? Is he going to be a long-term backup quarterback? And like you said, Kyler Murray is going to be a placeholder just for this season. So does that mean is Minnesota going to be going to look? Because we have a stacked quarterback draft class coming up next season. Do they go and look for a replacement, or honestly, once Kyler Murray leaves, here JJ McCarthy, here's the keys again. Like, what is going to happen with them? Like, I have no idea what their thoughts are on JJ McCarthy. And I also don't even know what they're going to do with JJ McCarthy because I think it would be very stupid to trade him. Whether when you have a starting quarterback that has injury concerns and he's under a 1 year contract for him to be the focal point. So I think trading JJ McCarthy is out the window. I think JJ McCarthy is going to get some playtime this year because I don't see Kyler Murray going a full 17 games this season. I see him probably going 8, 9 games this year. Then he's probably going to get hurt. Or when does the new Call of Duty come out? I don't know what's going to happen with Ky
Six comes out soon, so that will be the root cause of Minnesota Vikings' bad season.
Yeah. I just feel so bad for Justin Jefferson, like one of the best receivers in the league.
Real quick.
He's about to get his 10th quarterback in the league.
Oh God, real quick. What if, and this would heavily screw Justin Jefferson, unless of course some other franchise flounders and end up with the number one pick.
Like
Trade,
if Minnesota
trade,
get
trade Justin Jefferson, package up Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, your best, youngest players, send them to whoever has the number one pick, maybe even add in a third team into the deal. Maybe the third team gets Jefferson. Maybe you package up your best young players, you send it to the team that has the first overall pick.
for
You get the
Jeremiah
first
Smith.
overall pick. Jeremiah Smith, Arch Manning, Dante Moore. There's a hell of a lot of quarterbacks coming out. Justin Jefferson gets a new home. Like everybody kind of gets happy.
But the thing is with Justin Jefferson, it does we haven't heard that he's not happy. We haven't heard any of that. But to be honest, I like that little package though. Package him up and some young guys for the first overall pick. Honestly, I think they're just going to get the first overall pick just with Kyler Murray at quarterback or with JJ McCarthy at quarterback. And imagine Jeremiah Smith and Justin Jefferson paired up together. That'd be gross. But I just think that
Yeah.
Jetta is going to stay. I think he likes to be in Minnesota forever unless, you know, something drastic happens. I think he loves it being in Minnesota. I just think I just can't see 10 different quarterbacks have thrown to Justin Jefferson in his career. That is just shocking to me. I think
Yeah,
they
yeah.
really have to find a long-term quarterback. They had a long-term quarterback in Sam Darnold, and they let him go. Like he could have been that guy after that season. They let him go and went to Seattle, won the Super Bowl. They had a pretty solid quarterback in Kirk Cousins, but they got rid of him because he was kind of on his final legs. It felt like at times, and then they drafted JJ McCarthy, and JJ McCarthy after coming off winning the national championship with Michigan, they were like, you know what, this guy could be it. The craziest thing is JJ McCarthy didn't even do a lot. Did not do a lot in college.
You hand the ball to Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards a bunch of
Yeah,
times.
so
Like, yeah.
especially in that national championship, I've been saying it a long time. I don't really like JJ McCarthy that much. But at the same time, though, he's only played what 10 games in the National Football League. It's a small sample size, and I want to say 6 of those games he looked pretty solid. Um, I would say probably 3 or 4 of those games he played great. So I think there's potential there. I think he learns behind Kyler Murray, They also have Carson Wentz on that team too, but what are you going to learn from these two quarterbacks when you're a young quarterback yourself? I think JJ McCarthy gets the starting role halfway through the season, shows everybody that he's the guy, he's the one, and then they move on from Kyler, they move on with JJ McCarthy being the starting quarterback. I just think this is going to be a little learning curve. And honestly, if I was JJ McCarthy, I'd be a little upset. Small sample size already replaced. I'd be pretty upset if I was JJ McCarthy to Kevin O'Connell. And let's just see what happens. But it's for sure not going to be the last time we see JJ McCarthy. He's going to get his chance probably by week 5 to 8. I just don't see Kyler Murray that guy being that guy. I don't think he's a starting quarterback in the league anymore.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I never liked Kyler Murray to begin with because of his height, but
Yeah, no, I agree
trouble
with
in
you on that.
Minnesota, like it's weird.
Yeah, it's
Now
it's
they got
it.
to get it together because that division is running away from them.
Yeah, and with a pretty solid team, not a great team, pretty solid. They should be competing for at least the division, and I think they
Yeah,
could. Like, let's just see what type of Kyler Murray. Because honestly, I love with these quarterbacks coming on 1 year deals, improving themselves, and they play fantastic. I love seeing that. Maybe Kyler Murray could be one of those guys too. Plays
yeah,
on a 1 year deal and shows people why he was a first round pick, and it shows people why he was a prominent NFL quarterback at one point, and show people why he picked football over baseball. Just he's against the wall right now, Kyler Murray. So I think I'm going to be excited for him to see what they can do. I think Minnesota to see what their quarterback saga comes out to be is going to be a great storyline for probably this entire football year, calendar year, not just the season, but it's going to be the calendar year, the quarterback saga over there. Do you have anything else on the Kyler Murray being named a starting quarterback for the Vikings, or can we move on to the last topic of the day?
last topic is good.
All right, so players to watch in the preseason as it's the official first week of the preseason. Hall of Fame game was last week. That was the only game of preseason. Here's some of the players that I want to look out and highlight. Drew Aller and Will Howard, or Drew Aller and Will Howard competing for the QB positional job over there. Take a nice, clean look at the Steelers preseason game this week. Ted Hurst III, the Bucks receiver. He's been making headlines in in training camp. Keep an eye on him. Jacoby Lane, the receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. Um, Again, keep an eye out for him. I think he can be one, maybe the second string. He could for sure have a chance at being the third receiver or second receiver in the Baltimore Ravens offense. Take a look out for him. Nicholas Singleton. I know the initial depth chart came up and he's buried now. I think that he's going to make it known that he should not be buried in that depth chart of the Tennessee Titans. He's the running back out of Penn State. I think he's a very solid running back, and I do think that he's going to end up being the RB3 going into the regular season after training camp and after the preseason. That's how high I am on Nick Singleton. Keep an eye out on him for this. Preseason. And then I have another one. I really loved him in the combine. Taylor Green, the quarterback for the Browns. Depending on how many quarterbacks they want to keep, is it going to be three quarterbacks or a fourth quarterback? If they are trying to keep four quarterbacks, we already know the three quarterbacks are going to be. It's going to be Deshaun Watson, Shador Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. But if they are keeping a fourth, keep an eye on Taylor Green to crack the 53-man roster. You have anybody?
Um, I mean, I saw a cool video of Carnell Tate. I mean, he looks pretty good. I'll give you
Yeah, like I'm
Carnell Tate.
excited to
That
see
could
how
be.
Carnell Tate. I don't know how many rookies are actually going to be like first rounders and stuff like that are going to be in this draft or in this round of the preseason, again, this preseason game. I want to say that we're going to see probably a lot of the second rounders, third rounders, and the threes. But I just want to see something for a second because
Oh,
um,
Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles will
Sonny
be my
Styles,
other one.
I'm
He looks
excited to see
great.
him.
He looks great for Washington. He looks great. I really think I really like Washington this year. I'll tell you guys, I really like Washington this year to kind of rebrand themselves. I love the Stephon Diggs signing. I really do. I deal Laramie Tunsil being hurt sucks, but there's some time for them to get a replacement. And as long as Jaden Daniels is healthy, like I like Washington. I really do.
Yeah, I like them too. I'm gonna work. Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'll be watching the Washington Commanders 2 times a year. But going back to Drew Aller and Will Howard, Will Howard got drafted last year. Drew Aller got drafted this year. They're competing right now. I saw some reports. Some of them are with the second team. Sometimes they're both with the third teams. I want to say they're competing with Mason Rudolph for the second string job. I think this preseason is going to be a very good indicator on who's going to win the quarterback two job because they have two quarterbacks that I think are good enough to be the successor of Aaron Rodgers when he retires at the end of the season, of Will Howard, national champion, and Drew Aller, who is pretty solid, and he's honestly showing pretty. He's showing like he could be the next guy up in training camp right now. I know that's just going up against your own team, and even when they have these joint practices, but I think who's going to win the quarterback two job? Who are they going to be most confident on being the second string quarterback for Pittsburgh? And I think it's going to be either or Will Howard or Drew Allard. And I think it's the preseason game that we see this week are going to pretty much sum it up because Mason Rudolph, I don't really like him that much.
Why does he still have a place in the league?
Yeah, right. Like I don't like him that much. I think
How
it's
Garrett should have
I
hit his ass
think
harder with this helmet.
I I think they're just playing a little safe right here with Mason Rudolph at the second string. Sure, but whoever, I think it's going to be a competition at the end of the day for this third string job. Will Howard would probably have the upper hand because he was there last year, but he was hurt for most of the season. Um, but I think Drew Aller is the better overall quarterback than Will Howard. Just talking about everything, what we've seen in college, what we've seen even in camps. That's going to be a nice little storyline right there. Because I know the quarterback one positional battles have not really been that because I think the only other quarterback one positional battle we have is the Atlanta Falcons, but I think that's two. I think it's solidified going to be Tua. And then the Cleveland Browns, but the Cleveland Browns are an absolute mess. Like, what's
Mhm.
this? It's going to be Deshaun Watson, and then he's going to get hurt, or he's going to give up on playing football, and then it's going to be Shador. Then we know Shador is going to have one good game, then one bad game, and then a good game, and then a bad game, and then back-to-back bad games, and then back-to-back good games. Like, it's going to be very inconsistent football. And then Dylan Gabriel's going to come in, and he's going to play very bad, and then Taylor Green's going to come in, and he's going to play mediocre at best. Um, so that's just a mess. But let's take a look at some Canadians. So this is what I love. We have a lot of Canadians in the National Football League, a lot of rookies in the National Football League of Canadians. The one guy I want to headline is from Queen's University, is Nicholas Henning, the tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders. His route to the National Football League was it was different. You know, he went to the College Gridiron Showcase after a terrific season with the Golden Gales of Queens. Went to College Gridiron Showcase, showed out there, did terrific, did solid over there. Got drafted second overall by the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL, and then he went to a mini camp tryout for the Raiders. Got signed. Now he's in training camp some reports. So it's been hard to find reports on a tackle, on tackles on the offensive lineman of the National Football League. But what I've been hearing on some shows too, because I had to go all the way to Las Vegas and even Oakland too, because Oakland sports radio still talks about the Raiders. Had to go. I had to do a complete deep dive to try and find clippings and hearings of what's going on over there at training camp. But what I have heard was Las Vegas. So Nicholas Henning actually has a real chance to make the practice roster this season because we already know Las Vegas's offensive line is already kind of shaped up, especially the guys that they brought in from the free agency. But he has a real chance to make the practice roster. Some reports I've been hearing. He's showing a lot of potential, and that the O-line coach Rick Dennison had some strong praises for the young tackle. That was a quote I took from one of the radio stations from Las Vegas. Nicholas Hennig, we all know he's not going to be an all-pro guy. We know he's coming in on an unethical route to the National Football League. But look out for him in the preseason game this week, Nicholas Henning from Queen's University. And then another Canadian from Nova Scotia, Logan Taylor, drafted in the sixth round out of Boston College. I think that he has a pretty solid chance to make the 53-man roster for some depth piece. If not, he's for sure going to be on the practice roster. But I think right now for the Chargers, he has a real shot to make the 53. Akeem Mesidor, we already know he's going to make the team, the 22nd overall pick. I'm just excited to see what he can do in this preseason showing if he does play. And if he doesn't, then we're gonna have to wait to probably week 1 to see him. But Akeem Mesidor this week, if he does play, I'm excited to see what he can do. See if he can, because he has been making a splash in training camp. But let's see if he can fill that hole that Bosa left behind for Los Angeles Chargers. And then there's one player too. I know he's not a rookie, he's not a young guy, because there's numerous Canadians that I could talk about. But I want to talk about one more guy. Is John Mechie the third. Had a tough start to his career. He got sick. He came back, put up some pretty solid depth pieces. He had a pretty good showing last week in the Hall of Fame game for the Carolina Panthers. He signed a 1-year deal this offseason. Just keep an eye out for him this preseason, this week in the preseason, see what he can do. Add, as he adds another deep depth spot for that young Carolina Panthers receiving room. So those are my guys to look out for, Canadian wise. I think there's a lot more. I don't want to talk about him, but D. Alford with the Bills. Elick Aomeyer from Stanford. Now he's with Tennessee. He's going into his sophomore season. He's showing some splashes in camp. He also got hurt though, so keep a nice lookout for him. There's numerous Canadians. There's 47 listed Canadians just in training camp right now, or 45 and a couple Americans from the CFL. Wesley Bailey for the Rams. See what he can do. Um, Theo Benedict from the Chicago Bears offensive lineman. Bergeron. We already know Bergeron just got paid. He got paid big for the Falcons. Obviously, the Brown brothers, Chase Brown and Sidney Brown, see what they can do. Elliott Brown, the American, coming from the CFL for the Arizona Cardinals. Robert Carter Jr., too, for the Colts. If everybody remembers that incredible interception he had last year in the CFL, he's with the Colts right now. He kind of got dusted last night against Stephon Diggs. Not Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, and he got dusted by Efton Chisholm, so that was cool. But yeah, and then also another one, global player, a punter I want to see for the Cleveland Browns, the former Hamilton Tiger Cats punter. Uh, I wish I knew how to pronounce this. Nick Costantano. Butchered that one for sure. And then obviously like the guys we've already seen, like Neville Gallimore with the Bears now. There's numerous guys I want to see, but those guys that I listed off first are what I'm keeping my eye on for the Canadians. Anything else to add, Nikki Taz?
No, sir. My laptop's about to die.
Hey, it's all good. We're gonna end it off right here, anyways. Uh, NFL training camp and full display. NFL season right around the corner. The CFL has been on a tear too, but this has been the Daniel Federico Show. We'll be back next Wednesday too. That's Nikki Taz. I'm Daniel Federico, and we'll see you guys again next week. Ciao.
Wow.